Hello, students. Happy Wednesday. I really do miss you. So I do my lesson plans the week before, so actually it's Friday in my real time right now, and I'm super duper excited because on Monday we get to do the 8th grade parade. I don't know if it's a surprise to all of you or not, but I'm so excited because I miss you. And I'm super excited that I get to see all of your faces on Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure if it's going to take us 2 days, but I hope we get to see you all on Monday. So some of you aren't like, hey, how come these people got a parade and I didn't get one? It's just you all live all over the place. But this week we've been working on spreading kindness, throwing kindness around like confetti, trying to brighten other people's day. So I really hope that the parade brightens your day. It's so unfair that your 8th grade year was not a typical 8th grade year, and all those wonderful things that you are usually doing at this time. Unfortunately, lots of them got canceled, but we're going to try our best to make it still wonderful for you because we love you and we miss you so much. And I'm so excited to see you on Tuesday. So this week we'll continue our work with, I shouldn't say this week, today, Wednesday, we will continue to work on our nonfiction unit and our work with those complex nonfiction texts that you have been reading. So our learning targets um, are listed here. The first one is I can read and comprehend grade level literary nonfiction. And you've been demonstrating that by reading the Newsella articles that I've posted for you and assigned to you and completing those questions, those quizzes at the end. Did you understand it? If you're taking those quizzes and you are understanding the questions that they ask you, you are definitely demonstrating your comprehension that, yep, you do understand those grade level nonfiction texts. You're comprehending them well. The next learning target is I can determine the central idea of a text. We've been working on that. Central idea is also sometimes called the main idea. What is the author's point? What is the main message he or she is trying to get across to the reader? And this third one right here, we're going to really dive into this one today. I can analyze the development of a central idea over the course of a text. So over the course of the text, that's your writer's job, is to develop that central idea. Okay, here's what I want to teach you. Here's what I want to show you. Here's what I want to explain to you. And then the author uses the body of that text to develop that central idea. So we'll take a look at that a little bit more today. So your assignment today, first, the listening part, that's you watching this video. By the time you get this will be blue, so you can click there to watch the video. Then you're going to read. You're going to go to Newsella to see the posted assignment for today. Today's day 3 of the Newsella assignments that are posted this week. You're going to choose one of the articles of the 3 that are there, read it, reflect on it, and complete the Power Words activity and the quiz that will demonstrate your understanding, your comprehension of each article. Then you're going to determine the central idea of the text and highlight sentences that support the central idea in yellow. So this is your first step, identify the central idea. Then think about what details did the author include to develop this central idea? And we're going to take a look at that together with this news article right here. So what Mrs. Ash did, I tried to find an article that wasn't one that was assigned to you this week. So I just searched the Newsella kindness, and this was one of the articles that popped up. Being kind to yourself is the best way to help achieve your goals. So as Mrs. Ash reads this article, I'm going to ask myself, what is the main message the author is trying to get across? That's what I'm going to keep in my brain right away on my first read. When I go back and read it again, that's when I'm going to think about, okay, what details does the author include to develop this idea? Oftentimes, nonfiction texts, you have to read them more than once. So sometimes when Mrs. Ash is reading, the first time I read it, I'm just thinking about the big picture, the main idea. And then I go back and ask myself, okay, how can I understand this topic a little bit better? So let's read together. Do you think you need to channel your inner drill sergeant in order to get your homework done or eat your vegetables? Yes, sometimes when I have homework too. I have to get these lesson plans done. And sometimes I'm a procrastinator and I have to make lists. Here's my to do list. And I have to really tell myself, okay, this is what you have to get done today. And I give myself little goals. When I am done with this, then I can, go on social media and check out what everybody's doing. Or then I'm going to watch this show that I've been watching on Netflix with Sierra. Or then I'm going to have a snack. But I really have to get my inner drill sergeant going in order to get some of the tasks that I need to get done. So anyway, let's start rereading. Do you think you need to channel your inner drill sergeant in order to get your homework done or to eat your vegetables? If so, think again. It may be more effective to be kind to yourself. Research shows that practicing self-compassion promotes improvement and achievement. It also helps us live healthier. Why is this? Okay. Happier lives. Got it. Promotes. If something promotes a thing, it encourages it or helps it. Okay, got it. Self compassion is the practice of being kind and supportive to ourselves rather than mean and self critical. In recent years, numerous studies have shown that self compassion bolsters mental and emotional health. Newer research is also finding that it plays a key role in physical health too. Don't be too critical of yourself. According to self compassion researcher Kristen Neff, author of Self Compassion, The Proven Power of Being Kind to Yourself, there are three elements of self compassion. The first is mindfulness, which is being aware of thoughts, feelings, and experiences. When you practice mindfulness, you experience your thoughts and feelings without judging or obsessing about them. The second is a sense of common humanity, which means recognizing that we are all imperfect and have personal struggles. The third is self kindness, which is showing ourselves care and understanding when we come face to face with our mistakes and all too human imperfections. The opposite of self compassion is emotional reactivity, isolation, and self judgment, and can also take the form of an unhealthy perfectionism. These emotional responses have been linked to depression, stress, and reduced quality of life. A 2017 study published in Health Psychology Open found positive outcomes for people who practice self compassion. These people tend to handle stress better. Their bodies have less of a stress response when they get into an argument with a loved one or experience a setback at work or school, for example. Chronic stress directly harms health, which is one reason why stress management is an important element in a healthy lifestyle. Constant stress triggers physical responses that include spikes in blood pressure and blood sugar. When we cope well with stress, we are also less likely to reach for unhealthy short-term coping mechanisms. Unhealthy habits like smoking and heavy drinking are often related to feeling stressed out. Constant stress also weakens the immune system. This is the body's self defense mechanism which fights off sickness and disease. Self compassion often gets painted as selfish, lazy, or indulgent, but the truth is quite the opposite. People who are caregivers often find it difficult to be as compassionate with themselves as they are toward others. To fully give and support others, though, we need to give and support ourselves. Making sustainable changes. Are you a perfectionist? If so, you may fear that if you are too gentle with yourself, you'll fail to perform up to your abilities. Research, though, shows self compassion leads to making choices that support long term success and well being. The changes we make based on our self compassion are more sustainable than changes we make because we feel unacceptable the way we are. Self compassion also allows us to evaluate areas for self improvement more clearly and pursue changes without being weighed down by self criticism. Let's say you do poorly on a geometry test. Self compassion can help you use that experience to make changes going forward, like seeking out a math tutor. In contrast, self criticism can paralyze you. It may leave you unable to make any adjustments as you fall further and further behind in class. Self compassion might seem like it would be easy to practice because we all want to be happy. At the same time, though, we also want to avoid danger. In the face of true danger, we usually go into fight, flight, or freeze mode as a means to escape trouble. However, when the danger has less to do with an external threat than uncomfortable emotions that rise from our own mistakes or failures, our response can be self criticism, self isolation, and self absorption. These responses can get in the way of doing things that will make us happier and healthier in the long run. Self compassion helps us view uncomfortable emotions as less of a threat. As a result, we can respond more appropriately and constructively. So, how do we cultivate self compassion? We start with mindfulness. Unless we pay attention to what is going on around us and inside us, we may be unaware of the thoughts that play and replay in our heads. We can practice observing our thoughts. Are they compassionate or critical? We can be curious and non judgmental. Harshly criticizing ourselves is counterproductive, only adding insult to injury. We can remind ourselves that to err is human and to forgive divine. That includes forgiving ourselves. When we treat no, when you treat yourself as a good friend, you can be candid about what you want to change while remaining respectful and kind to yourself. Finally, we can show kindness to ourselves in ways that nurture mind, body, and spirit. We can take time to go for a walk, do some yoga, or prepare a nutritious meal. We show respect and care for ourselves when we do activities that bring us joy. They might include reading a novel, playing a musical instrument, or getting together with friends to kick around a soccer ball. Such enjoyable activities strengthen our connections with people who mean the most to us and strengthen our self esteem too. With practice, we can learn to treat ourselves with kindness and unconditional love, not tough love. Okay, so as a reader, I was thinking about what is the central idea. And I felt like it was kind of summed up in this sentence right here. Let me see. Go back. We can show kindness to ourselves in ways that nurture mind, body, and spirit. That went over the entire article. So I might say the main idea is that it's important for us to be kind to ourselves so we can improve achievement and live happier lives. That's the main idea. So then, how does the author develop the idea of being kind to ourselves to promote healthiness, being self compassionate to ourselves so we can live healthier, happier lives? Where are some details that the author includes that support and develops this central idea? So I'm going to highlight, let's see. So first she talks about, is it a she? I'm just assuming it's a she who's the author of this text. I'm sorry if you're not a she. I don't see a name here. Okay, the person. We'll call it the person. Um, the author begins to develop this central idea talking about mindfulness. So let me see one sentence that supports this main idea. Actually, these right here, because this is, you can see how the author develops this over the course of the text. Here's the author talks about mindfulness, a common sense of humanity, and self kindness, and then goes on in the article to develop each of those. So I'm going to highlight these sentences right here. And I said to highlight them yellow, right? Where's my highlighting tool? Yep, right here. So the second is a sense of common humanity, which means recognizing that we are all imperfect and have struggles. So we need to be kind to ourselves. And the first thing that we need to do is recognize that in ourselves. Then self-kindness, which is showing ourselves care and understanding when we come face to face with our mistakes that make us all too human, imperfect. Let me read that better. Self-kindness, which is showing ourselves care and understanding when we come face to face with our mistakes and all too human imperfections. So understanding that we are imperfect. This video is imperfect. The last video I made, I rewatched and I kept saying and I was like, oh, I hate when I say so much. I want to remake this video, but I have to be kinder to myself. I have to know that's something I need to work on, but be a little bit forgiving of myself and know that I'm a work in progress. Another thing the author develops idea about this central idea is that mindfulness, being aware of our thoughts and feelings and experiences without judging or obsessing about them. So the author develops the central idea about showing kindness to ourselves in order to be healthy in mind, body, and spirit. And the author then goes on to the article, and you notice how the author then talks about making sustainable changes and how you can do that by doing those three things. Then the author ends with kind of just repeating that same idea at the end and giving us another look at that central idea with that one sentence toward the end about nurturing mind, body, and spirit. So you notice all the details have to do with nurturing your mind, body, and spirit, and mindfulness, humanity, being caring for ourselves. So these three sentences right here definitely show how the author is going to develop that central idea. My video was just a tad confusing today, but I think that you'll get the hang of it. Please let me know if you have any questions about anything on the assignment. Let's just go back and look at it one more time because I just realized there's a writing piece to it as well. So after you read the article, search for the central idea, and then highlight the sentences that support the central idea, you're going to complete the writing activity for the article, and you're going to do that right in your Newsella article. So when you read your Newsella article, when you click on the activities button right here, there'll be a writing assignment, and that writing assignment says to, oops, that's Thursday. Write a short paragraph that explains the central idea of the article. Use at least 2 details from the article to support your response. And you'll do that right in the Newsella site. When you click write, that assignment will pop up and you'll click it right there, and I'll be able to see it on the Newsella. So you don't have to email it to me, and you don't have to turn anything in Google Classroom. I'll see it on the Newsella site. Practice. Go to iExcel and practice the following skills. Determine the main idea and organize information by main idea. There's 3 skills that I assigned to you for this week. So search for those 3 skills. They are titled Determine Main Idea. There's an 8th grade skill level. And then for those of you who want a bit of a challenge, there's a 9th grade skill level that's titled the same thing. And then there's an 8th grade skill entitled Organize Information by Main Idea. So you can practice that. Last but not least, for today, your kindness activity. When you finish, grab a trash. We're trying to brighten up somebody's day. So you're going to do some cleaning today. Cleaning can clear your mind, can make your soul feel better, can brighten somebody else's day. So today's kindness activity, when you finish your work, grab a trash bag and go take a walk in your backyard and neighborhood. Pick up any trash that you find along the way and dispose of it properly. Now, if this isn't an option for you, if you do, make sure you wear gloves. I'm going to do that this week too. But if you can't do that and it's not an option for you, or it's not something you feel safe doing, that's totally fine. Look around your own house. You know the people that you live with would be so happy if you would just out of the blue do some cleaning, tidy up a spot in your house, whether it be a closet or you do the dishes unexpectedly. It's not even your turn. It's not a chore that mom or grandma or auntie or dad wrote on a list for you. It's just something out of the kindness of your heart. You saw, I see this needs to be cleaned up. Let me do it without having to be asked. I promise you, I'm a mom. I know. That will definitely brighten somebody's day. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you brighten somebody else's day. I'll see you soon.